welcome back, everybody. This is this is Tony Jordan from your next iteration from the couch. My host,
Uche Osora, and we are from the Couch Podcast.
That's right. That's right. So definitely an interesting week last week. I think we bounced out of here pretty quickly because we had a draft to do, but we had some great chat that was on. A buddy of mine came on and talked a little bit about some financial freedoms, and so that was
very informative.
It was, and hopefully our listeners were able to walk away with some questions. Hopefully, some reached out to Ron, but I know for you and I, we beat feet and head down to FedEx Field. Yeah, for our draft. And what's interesting is one thing that Uche did not know is that if you're last there, you become the sticker placer. So this is any individual who gets drafted. Yeah.
So basically, I had to every time someone drafted, I had to go.
I didn't know anyone still did it that way.
I was like, oh my gosh. I had to find their names. I was like, this is taking too long.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny. I think you played it off pretty well. Like you had no clue who the people were or what position.
I was like, what position is that guy?
Next thing you know, another one of the people like, I'm sick of waiting for this guy.
I know. He's like, I'll take over.
I'll jump in. Yeah. So from a draft perspective, how do you feel your team did?
Oh, I'm winning the league.
You think you're winning the league?
Truly,
okay.
Because I have players who all have something to prove. I look for players who are talented, of course, and I also look for them where they are mentally. And when you look at guys like Lamar Jackson, he wants a big contract.
Right.
So I feel like he's going to go off this year and try to prove himself.
He could. It's interesting.
You all looked at me crazy for drafting a quarterback that high.
Oh, I went Josh Allen first round.
You went first round with him?
No, I'm sorry, second round.
I took Lamar second round too, but I was the first one to take a quarterback.
Yeah, that's right.
And everyone else started taking quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if you looked at what Yahoo graded you. So we have 13 teams that are playing in this league. I know it's an odd number.
I didn't see that. What did they grade?
Yeah, you were 13th.
You were 13th. Serious?
Yes. This is why everyone looked at you like, "What are you doing, dude?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but that's all right. Yeah, I mean, you can prove yourself, and
I'll prove you all wrong.
Well, hopefully that's semi the case. Yeah. But it's interesting. It was pretty cool. I mean, we had some other players that came around from some legacy players.
Did you know?
They came, no, not really. And what's odd is that you're a Super Bowl champion.
You don't have your ring.
And you don't bring your Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
All of us asked the same question. Oh, let's see the ring. Let's say, I left it at home.
I left it at home, and I was like, no, you didn't.
You are going to a stadium specifically for the draft.
Yeah.
You're going to be one of these highlight people that are there. And there was no ring.
No ring. Not even a game ball.
Right? Yeah, the guy walks in. It was kind of funny. The guy that that's kind of ushering them around.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, we got so and so here." Yeah. Like, "Oh, cool." All of us look around like, "Never heard of this guy."
Never heard of this guy.
And he walks in, completely awkward situation. He just stares.
What's up, guys?
Hi, guys. Hey, man, how's it going? Do the handshakes and how's your draft look? Blah blah blah. And I think we were like round 2, maybe. I don't know. So everybody's team is like magnificent right out the gate. Yeah. But yeah, and so here we are. We're about to start first week of college ball. Actually, last week really was week 0, whatever.
Yeah.
This week, Michigan plays tomorrow. I don't know if you watched any of the games that were on last night.
I didn't watch anything.
Yeah. Penn State Purdue game.
That was on.
Crazy.
Who won?
Crazy. Penn State did barely. Another game that was great was the West Virginia versus Pitt. So Pitt's ranked 17th.
Pitt's ranked this year.
Yeah. And West Virginia score is 24-31. West Virginia up.
Mm-hmm.
Pitt scores a touchdown. Now it's 31s. There's 2 minutes and like 50 seconds left in the game. Pick 6 is thrown.
Who threw the pick?
Pitt goes up now, so they're up 38-31.
Oh my.
And then West Virginia pushes down the field it's like 4th and 16 or something like that with 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds, 15 seconds left, whatever it was, lose the game.
They lost.
So, yep, lost the game. Yep.
I was expecting a comeback moment.
Yeah, it would have been cool, but yeah, that wasn't the case. Yeah, so they blow it, trying to get down the field, and next thing you know, pick six. And
I haven't followed college football that much ever since the pandemic started.
Really,
I've been kind of depressed with it.
Not me, because Michigan had a fantastic year last year, but the year prior to that was terrible. I mean, I think we had 2 wins. But we only played 5 games or something silly, and then it was pretty bad, like really, really bad.
Once the pandemic came, I kind of just fell off of sports altogether. Like,
Did it?
Especially when the NBA bubble happened.
Oh
I
my
was
goodness,
like, this is garbage basketball. Guys.
Right.
I don't want to watch this. It's depressing. I'm trapped in the house and I can't really.
It's funny you bring that up. I forgot all about the NBA bubble.
Exactly.
Right. And I think probably some of the players did as well.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like they played better though?
No.
There was some very good, like because a lot of the players were saying there's no crowd. They could kind of just like, it was like practice almost.
Yeah.
And they were just like playing, like if you watch some of the clips, like it's kind of like they play different.
It was some of the basketball was different, but the fans make the sport, I believe.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah,
completely agree.
It just felt empty arenas. They had people on Zoom
They
calls.
That was like the dumbest thing ever.
It looked like the Madden stands. They had cardboard cutouts everywhere.
That was big at even in college football. They were doing that. Like you could buy.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was.
You could buy a Zoom seat.
Well, not a Zoom seat. You could buy a cardboard cutout of yourself to go in on in the stadium.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you could sit next to a Tom Brady cutout. I'm like, I'm not sitting next to Tom Brady. Yeah, very, very different. But it was like, I don't know, $300.
That's crazy.
Like, why would I give you $300 to not? I'm watching the game from home, and they're terrible at this time. Yeah, but the Zoom call thing, absolutely hilarious. I think I saw some of that on, I think, not that I'm like a wrestling fan, if you call it wrestling, like WWE, but you flip through on the stations or whatever, and it catches your eye, and it brings that back, that kid nostalgia of being, 8 years old. Like, oh, I'm gonna watch. Who's this guy? Never heard of him.
It's like I don't recognize this.
Right. So you have these massive, like it's an arena of just like micro boxes of people's faces. Yeah, going crazy. It just seemed really, really odd to me.
It wasn't the same.
Yeah. So we.
LeBron, your ring doesn't matter, LeBron.
What's that?
LeBron got a ring in that bubble, and people try to claim it. I'm like,
yeah,
we don't acknowledge that. Right?
That was absolutely terrible. Yeah, there you go. So
a virtual NBA fan.
Yeah, that absolutely hilarious. And I don't even know if they charged anything for that either.
They did. They had to.
Yeah, they got to make their money. But yeah, the NBA bubble, what an absolute joke.
And half the players weren't even playing. Kawhi didn't really play.
Right.
It was like,
weren't they? There was like a big thing where they were like dipping out of the bubble to go party and then coming back in.
Coming back,
Right. So absolutely hilarious in that regard. But one thing that I will say, and I mean this involved me. I think it involved like our company as well, in something similar. That teamwork aspect of things.
Yeah.
So they were working together, but as a team playing ball in the bubble. Everybody else is in the bubble as well, so that unit, those key cohesive units, are beginning to grow a tighter bond, and I think that's for me. That's what happened within our company, my family specifically, and I think I've talked about this on multiple occasions. Of our family really, really grew during the pandemic. Yeah, and I mean, so I think that's what made dropping my daughter off at college.
Oh yeah.
So difficult. We haven't even talked about that yet, and I'm kind of glad because I'm trying to generate enough hardened emotions where I'm not a babbling brook out here.
Don't start bawling on camera.
Exactly. Because I tell you what, that was rough. I mean, that drive coming back home. Yeah. What was nice, I will say this much. She leaves with my wife on Wednesday. They drive down. Mm-hmm. So my youngest and I are at the house because she's got volleyball tryouts. And while we're there, I mean, the house seemed completely empty. I mean, there's like a piece of my heart that's missing because my kid's gone, right?
The vibe was gone.
Right.
Yeah.
And then as, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then into Friday, my daughter makes the volleyball team. Good job, babe.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. And we hop in the car. We drive down. to Liberty, and on that drive there, my daughter and I are chatting about like just the difference in what the house felt like. Not just because, mom was gone, but also because sister was gone.
Big sister too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's just like this weirdness that happens. And Ben, I'm sure like, your brother felt it, your sister felt it, mom and dad absolutely did.
I came over on Tuesday and I asked my mom where he was. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
I just sat down at dinner and I was like, where is he?
Right. right.
He's not here.
Yeah. It's interesting, so every night, we pray before we eat, and we always eat as a family. I mean, probably 6 of 7 nights we're eating as a family.
Okay.
And it's just been like that since we started our family. And I do the exact same thing, after we're done praying. I kind of like blow a kiss to all my girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I still did it the other day, like,
even though she wasn't there.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh. And then my wife, she's like, what's the matter? I was like, well, I'm not going to bring it up. She's like, no, what's going on? What's the matter? What's the matter? So then I tell her, and then, you see like the tears like well up. And I'm like, yeah. But fortunately, she'll be home, next weekend. So that's a nice plus. But yeah, it's been rough, but I love seeing her grow. And one thing I will say, she's calling me all the time, texting me all the time, and this wasn't happening before.
Because she's seeing you every day when
Exactly.
she goes home.
Yep. Kind of take it for granted almost. And I'm getting phone calls at my office. Yeah. And I'm getting texts all the time. Dad, how's things going? What are you doing? Mm-hmm. What am I doing? Hang on, grab a chair. Let me re-pour a coffee here. Yeah. So it's been absolute blessing. Your mom lives out of state.
Same thing happened with my family. When we all lived together, like right before the pandemic, then my mom got a job moving her to Florida, and the whole family split up. So now we have a family group chat, and that's our music communication now.
Right.
And it's like, it was weird at first, like, oh my gosh, like, because I only have group chats with my friends, really.
Right.
But now it's like I'm talking to my family in the group chat. I don't see you guys every day, so you cherish it more,
Right.
And it was an odd feeling at first, but now I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
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 Older brother just had his second son.
Oh, awesome.
Week.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, so he sent the baby picture in the group chat, and we're all like, oh my gosh. So it's like you're further away, but the internet, the technology today brings you closer.
Right.
It feels like that.
It's interesting. I think about that from what it was like back in the 40s and 50s.
Oh,
I mean, you didn't have that technology at all. You're
must
writing
have
letters and what have you.
You send a letter, and it takes 2 weeks to get to that, maybe longer to get to that person. Like
sometimes leaving home meant you're never seeing
any
any
of
your
never
family
gonna see
again.
them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like I started watching the show called Vikings recently.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah.
And on the show, they go on raids like every spring,
Right.
And I'm like, they leave, and in their head, they're like, yeah, we might not come back.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is crazy.
Absolutely. And for us, I mean, being prior service, fortunately I didn't have to deal with doing FaceTime, from a deployment.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, I mean, what a blessing that for dads and moms that are not there for big events for their family.
Yeah.
They can Zoom call in or they can FaceTime in. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And just technology has been a hindrance in many cases, but a blessing in so many others.
Absolutely.
And I was talking with my wife this morning about on my way into to the office here about how different it is when you see kids after a game. When we're playing sports, probably more so me than you because you're younger than I am. But when we were done with the game, we're sitting up in the stands. We're talking about the game.
Yeah.
And I look over yesterday after a volleyball game, and every single kid is, on their device. I'm like, what are you looking up, and who are you talking to? Like your whole crew's right here. Yeah, it's just it's that's the kind of the downfall aspect of it.
Well, I was actually talking with a friend the other day, and we were talking about how social media is like another world. And that's why I feel like people are so invested in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you said, you're at a public gathering, bunch of people there, but you're on your phone.
Right.
So it's like this next generation coming up, they're gonna be all invested. You know what I mean? That element of real life, I think, is slowly diminishing.
It's funny. I always think of that Ready Player One movie.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah,
And with that piece, I often think about this is this fake world, right? That people are living in. And
I mean, but it's real to them.
It is.
It's real to
and
them.
like, I can be a hero. I can be a movie star. Whatever it is, I could be a different person. But maybe they don't feel that on the inside. That the actual life that they could be that different person.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of some sadness that's associated to it.
Yeah.
The psychological side.
Yeah.
The psychological side of stating, hey, an individual feeling like, I'm not good enough for whatever that is. And so social media plays this, hey, I'm living this fantastic life.
Yeah.
Like, look at me, got my selfies.
Basically, nobody can become a somebody on the internet.
Right.
And it's good and bad.
Right.
It's good and bad. I think it's more bad than good, though.
I completely agree. There was a series it was a Netflix series. I'm trying to think of the name of it. But anyways, this girl makes up this like completely fake identity. It was actually the girl that was in the Ozarks. It was like the main person. I don't remember what her name.
The wife?
No, the daughter. Or not the daughter, like the curly haired girl.
Oh,
man, what the heck is her name?
she was my favorite character too.
Yeah. So, thank you, Ben, for looking this up for us. That's her right there.
Ruth. Her name is
Ruth. Yeah.
Ruth.
Julia Garner. Yeah. So she plays this, and it's a real life story. So this girl says that she's like this Russian heiress or whatnot, and lives this incredibly extravagant life, and goes out, spends unbelievable amounts of money, no idea like where it's coming from. Has a story behind a story behind a story, and everybody's just buying into it. And it's pretty fantastic little like mini series. Shoot, I don't remember the name of it, but
you said it's on Netflix, right?
It is. Oh man, darn it, I can't remember the name of it. Maybe
Just
Ben
look
will be
up
able to see
Julia
it.
Garner Netflix.
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
Yeah. So, anyways, she fakes this entire. There it is, right there. Inventing. Anna.
I heard of this.
Yes. So, just crazy, and everybody bought into it. Story like, my credit card's jacked up. So one of her wealthy friends is like, don't worry about it, I'll pay for it. So this metastasizes into millions and millions and millions of dollars being spent. It's crazy. So pretty interesting story. But she ends up going to jail. Writes a story on it.
Is it based on a true story?
This is a true story. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. See, I feel like we're gonna see more and more crazy stories like this.
Absolutely.
There was one during the pandemic. I think they called him the Tinder swindler.
Okay.
You heard about that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I was like, this guy was traveling country to country in Europe, scamming women, and I was like, this guy, he's kind of a legend, but
it's just
it's crazy that people fall for this.
Well,
stuff,
that's the thing. I mean, you feel like you're part of something, or you see this lifestyle once again, kind of going back to, I want to live this extravagant lifestyle, so I'm going to fake it till I make it on social media, and then next thing you know, someone's getting swept up in it, scandaled, all their money gone. I mean, it's sad, and it's unfortunate that people are wicked like that. That's really what that boils down to.
That's why I think the metaverse is going to be a big problem. One day, not in the near future. I give it like 30 years.
Yeah, because it'll probably have like the Roblox type graphics.
Yeah. Did you guys watch Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan? He's on there for like 3 hours.
Yeah, I saw
heard
that
about it, but I haven't finished it.
So you were talking about how social media or technology is like a whole other world. Or you said it was like almost like a fake world.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg does not believe that. There's the physical world and the digital world, and they're two different things, and they have two different entirely.
Of course, he'll say that.
Right. So he's not. And I was like, so he really is just like this full technology freak. He just loves it and just wants to keep going. That's why he still owns the company.
Yeah.
He just wants, like, even he lets his kids use it, and I'm just like, that means that he doesn't see the he might
see
see
a
the
negative
dangers in
side,
it,
yeah.
but he really pushes the positive side more than anything.
Right.
It's very funny.
That's a big thing, you know, as well as like buying digital land.
Yeah, people when the metaverse first came out, I was like, why are people spending millions on digital?
Millions of dollars.
I was like, is this serious? I'm like, it must
People are
be.
going to be homeless but have millions in the metaverse.
Right.
Yeah, imagine.
Well, I mean, go back to Ready Player One. I mean, you
Yeah,
see,
this is-
you know, it's like a junkyard that this kid lives in,
Yeah.
but the junkyard is actually a neighborhood. And while he has like this awesome equipment and connectivity to, you know, best connectivity, but he's living
He's
this,
living-
and
it's crazy.
in poverty.
Have either of you used VR?
No,
Not
It's-
to that capacity.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I
Like your brain has a hard time convincing you that it's not real,
So-
even though it's just a headset.
It's funny you say that. We were in Ocean City, and we were riding on a ride, and I kid you not, I felt sick to my stomach. Like I had to take it off.
Yeah.
It was
People feel
crazy.
sick doing Google Earth just in their couch.
Yeah, it was really, really weird because it was
Felt
like this
real?
this weird. Absolutely.
I've done a roller coaster
'Cause it
sitting
was-
in a desk chair, and it's like you feel. Ooh.
So that was the thing, like
Your brain doesn't know it's not real. It can't understand.
the chair I'm in.
I'm in shock right now.
It
I
moves
have one if you wanna
around.
come over.
It's got wind that's
has wind.
blowing at you. Yeah, and you just have like this headset, and you're moving all over. I kid you not, I felt like I was 100% in that. And then my youngest and I, we went to this. There's like a little mini golf putt place that has VR video games, and her and I, you're on like this like wire tether. So you put like a jacket on, and then you have the headset, and we were like archers or something, like taking out like bad guys or whatnot.
And that's
So
what
you know, while you're playing the game, looks awesome, but on the outside you look like a tool. You're like you're doing this, and people are like, what's going on with this guy?
You
Yeah.
can't, it's really hard to tell if there's any. Like my friends one time looped a audio clip of them just talking and left the room while I was doing it, and I had no
idea
clue
that they
because all I
left.
could hear was the
game.
like the talking. Like I could just hear the chatter a little bit. I couldn't hear what
Yeah.
they were saying, and after a while, I was like, "Wait a
Wait,
second."
I think I've heard this
I've heard this
before.
before. Yeah.
It took like 15. It took like 15 solid minutes of like a 2-minute clip.
Wow.
That's how
Wow.
it was bad.
That's
Wow.
dangerous.
Yeah, that is.
That's dangerous.
My aunt fell like almost broke a bunch of my equipment once because she got so into it. She like
Yeah.
started going crazy and fell into a table.
Wow.
Like it was like
You ever see those videos on like Facebook and Twitter, the guys with the headsets who break their TV
Exactly,
playing the
yeah.
boxing game?
Right. That's hilarious.
I was like, oh my gosh.
So, obviously, this set for us, or this episode, has been kind of all over the place, but it's good because we're talking about technology. We're talking about family and sports, which is what we initially started this podcast to do, is just really talk about life, things that are happening in our life, things that trigger us to think about other things, and I love the fact that we have a platform, we have the technology of being able to not just necessarily get a message out, but also let others know, like, hey, we're thinking the same stuff that you are, and we're talking about it, in the same capacity of which others are. Teamwork was like a big thing, that we touched on early on in the episode, and I said Michigan football. So one of like the main things for every Michigan fan that came from Bo Schembechler was the team, the team, the team. And it's just a slogan that he came up with, saying that no man is bigger than the team, no coach is bigger than the team, the team, the team, the team. Yeah. And
you sure that wasn't Woody Hayes?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely. Ouch.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I love that concept because that's really how I feel here at Wiegman and Briggs, is that our team is what makes us who we are. It's not an individual. It's not, we have the best software engineers or the best analysts or the best developers.
It's a team effort.
It is, and because we're helping one another become better at each thing that we do. So from a recruiting standpoint, we have Jen working with Colton to help make him better at what he's doing. We got Ben joining us here that's making our production better. We have had some slips over the course, like since we started. You'll see as we continue to progress within our podcast, just how much better it's getting. And, we love the fact that we have that capability of just being able to sit down and have everything kind of done for us in a way, and then, get our message blasted out and have our conversations with one another. Ben, I actually really appreciate you jumping in on this call today, because that's what we talked about early on, you being in a position of bringing stuff up on the screen as we're talking about it, but also interjecting and getting another perspective as well. So definitely appreciate that aspect for sure.
Young Ben.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess, over the course of the next couple weeks here, we're going to continue. We're going to talk about football because, we have, NFL comes back next week.
Yep.
And that should be a good launch. You guys have the Lions first?
Yeah.
Is that your
Eagles Lions week 1?
Yeah. Home opener, or is it a away game?
I'm not sure. I think it's
a home opener because
so.
Washington is away.
Eagles is home. Eagles home. Yeah.
Yeah. The Commanders are away at Detroit. Yeah. So I had a couple
The
of
first game of the season.
Yeah.
Eagles at home.
Yep. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what our teams do and how we talk smack about it. Not just our NFL teams, also our fantasy teams. Getting into the nitty gritty. See if you can climb out from that 13th place ranking. I was 7th, so I mean I'm not really standing in an ivory tower at all. But I mean I'm excited to see just really where this season goes, where we're at from a couple different things that we're doing within the company. We'll bring up some information on that, some recruiting efforts that we're doing, new training efforts. Teresa was on a couple weeks ago talking about some efforts that we're doing with some other staff members. So I'm excited to see what that looks like, and then also just have this podcast continue to grow. And I think our viewership continues to spike up. Which is awesome. Caitlin, she's doing a fantastic job in getting that message out. So definitely a shout out to her. But I mean, on my end, that's really all I got this week. You got anything else?
Donovan Mitchell got traded.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
You heard about that?
Yeah,
he got traded from Utah to Cleveland.
Interesting.
From one trash can to another.
Nice.
But that's all for me.
Awesome. All right, well, that's our episode from the couch. Take it easy.
Peace.